we help you?
It's my daughter.
What of her?
The Wargar have taken her. They've lived in the dungeons beneath the city since, well, before I was born. But the cowardly beasts always kept to themselves.
Hunted, the Demon's Forge is an interesting take on hack and slash games. Early into the game, I was ready to put it aside and write it off, but then I got through chapter 2 and it got way better and actually quite enjoyable. So let's see how the game achieves this. One thing about Demon's Forge that I noticed early into the game is the real weight and power behind weapons. The sound effects and even the camera adds to the feeling that when you strike an enemy with an axe, for example, you actually feel that, yeah, I just dealt a blow there. Lighter weapons such as swords are faster and so on, so it's cool that you can feel the hits on enemies. Not only this, but your weight is also nicely measured, so when Karak charges at something, you actually feel the rush and all, and I think that's always an important aspect in these types of games.
You've done it! You've saved us! I don't know how to thank you.
Assuming a cash reward is out of the question, you can help us find someone.
The Lord Mayor's daughter.
What you need to understand about this game is that it doesn't make you think where to go next. So yeah, it's pretty much linear, but aside that, you do get to go to extra places and extra dungeons which contain weapons and money, for example. These are moderate ones actually. You can spend up to 10 minutes on average in them. But the fact that it's linear, it doesn't make it a bad game or a boring one at all. In case you do get lost, you get a nice little orb showing you the path. A great way to know which route contains weapons and which one is where you have to progress is to send it out at the crossroads and go their way.
This place is like a maze. We may never find them.
Ilara, you can't hide thousands of people under a rock. We'll find them.
Yes, but will we be able to find our...
The fantasy setting in the game, for me at least, was spectacular. I mean, it has its own vibe somehow, and I was really looking forward to the next chapters to see what the developers came up with. You're going to visit 2 big dungeons, taking about 30 to 40% of the game. The first one, in my opinion, was way too early, so I suggest that if you play the game, try and get through that, because afterwards you get to the wilds and cities and they're way more fun. The favorite location of mine was definitely the outskirts of Karamor. The story really developed by the time, and I guess it was just a really cool setting. It's cool that your partner Ilara actually takes care of herself. So when a weapon stash comes up that you're going to encounter often, she searches for her arrows and stuff. I did hear that there was a problem with revivals, but for me there weren't any instances when she didn't revive me, except for lack of potions, of course. The little chats throughout the game between them are often fun and lots of times ironic. One thing that maybe could have been better was the developers' effort to try and make them look like not heroes. So lots of times they state that they don't want to do this, don't want to do that, but I think it was obvious that they're going to. But other than that, the conversations are fine and lift your spirits sometimes.
The gods bless you. Bless you both. Kalamur is downriver from us.
It's pretty nice that as you use your weapons and shields, they constantly get worn out and you have to replace them. So switching almost every 20 or 30 minutes or even less was okay for me, because I could look for better and better weapons, and I don't know, I quite enjoyed it. When you use your shields to defend yourself against arrows, for example, afterwards you can see them stuck in your shield. It's not a big thing, but noticeable enough, I would say. Also, the blood after each fight on your face and pretty much all over your body adds to the fighting experience. One thing that I just really didn't get is the number of doors in the game. In these cases, the two of you have to lift it up and get through it. The number of doors, especially in the dungeons, is just incredible. It could be that every 3 or 5 minutes you need to get through a door. I mean, even Karak mentions what's up with all these doors. It is not that it's annoying or anything, but you gotta deal with this throughout the game.
Skeletons ahead!
Somehow, for me at least, the game almost always managed to be fun. Just advancing and killing basically all sorts of enemies is easy and it doesn't take any brainstorming. The more you play with it, the better it gets, and the story of the game fits very nicely with the fantasy setting. The characters, from taking absolutely no part in it, developed to fitting in very nicely, so I was quite excited about the ending.
For years, Lear and its outlying lands were plagued by a great black dragon that dwelt in the ruined city of Kalamur. I hired a Nuvin at great cost to slay the beast.
But make no mistake, generally speaking this is not a great time. It's good and fun to play, but do not expect a very big surprise. Still, this is a cool example for when you just want to go straight ahead, kill enemies, collect the better and better weapons, and have fun. So that's how I could summarize Demon's Forge. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to sub.
We've ridden the current all night, floating down the river. There's a growing sense of unease in the air. There's nothing about this that I like. So why do I feel so calm? Ilara's not said a word the whole